one point as well, but just wanted to have a game on that. So, you know, it kind of gives you the idea that Team Saudi Arabia, they're well aware of the position that they're in as the top dogs in this group, and they're willing to flex their capabilities in that respect. Straight up, a couple of bans coming through here. Syndra LeBlanc, I don't think there's too much really to touch on there. I'm looking at that Rek'Sai and saying that's definitely going to be counter ban away from Ajwad. Did see a really good Rek'Sai game from him at the start of the tournament. Zeri, of course, you want to be taking that away anytime you possibly can. Makes a lot of sense to be getting rid of that. And Maokai taken away from WK Master. He's been, you know, picking up that Maokai fairly regularly, man. So
yeah, a little bit of Maokai. I feel like, you know, his Wukong performances have been pretty decent so far, and that's going to be open. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see Team Oman picking it up. It is going to be Aphelios locked in early for Team Saudi Arabia. So looking to just get that bot lane out of the way. Yuumi, of course, open, could certainly get thrown in there. Emilio has been banned away, and we're going to see Team Oman go for the Twitch approach. So countering with an ADC of their own and locking in that Rakan to try and find some kind of chemistry in the bot lane. So I'm sure that there is a world where this could work up against Team Saudi Arabia. I just don't know if we're living in it.
yeah, look, I probably agree with you, Mac. I mean, we did see a Twitch yesterday as well, not from Oman, I don't recall. I think it was from the second series that we got to watch. Yeah, I think it might have been Palestine that picked that one up. I'm not so sure that I'm sold on the Twitch Rakan lane, but you know, again, it does offer you a lot of options, right? When you're that Twitch, you can sort of sneak around the map and try to find some cheeky angles here and there. You've got the Rakan, obviously, that's a hard engaged support, that if he gets a good engage, then definitely there's some value there. But I'm just looking at the consistency that you can get through from the likes of the Aphelios Lulu, and I would be tending to agree with the choices so far from Saudi Arabia. KSA stands for Kasante.
From what I remember, S Plus was pretty solid on that Kasante in one of the games we watched yesterday. So not a terrible decision for Team Saudi Arabia to snatch that away. And we'll see if it is just going to be that top lane match with the lock-in, or if Oman are going to... Oh, okay. Covering the Maud, locking it in. It's been locked in. So we're going to have Maud up against Kasante in the top lane. Team Oman are certainly going out of the meta at the moment with what we're seeing.
Yeah, definitely, and actually quite a departure from the choices that they've been making so far in the RDAG, right? We've seen the vast majority of games be the likes of the Malphite, the Scion, the Kasante up in that top lane and down in bot. You know, we've seen Samira Nort, we've seen Xayah Rakan quite a bit, we've seen a little bit of Aphelios there as well, but yeah, the Twitch may be a little bit more of a pocket peek, a bit of a pocket strat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Saudi Arabia will be too disappointed by the way this draft is going. Just looking at it, they're not really super concerned about things. They've got 3 almost S-tier picks in a sense already, and so far Oman haven't really picked up any of the power choices. Like Vi's been on offer this whole time. You saw Kasante go through as the 3rd pick for Saudi Arabia, so just a little bit surprising how the drafts have been playing out here in the West Asia group, as we've highlighted multiple times. And starting to come through once again. You've got Pantheon and Diego taken away by Oman. Zach and J4 off the table, courtesy of Saudi Arabia. So now getting into the mid and the jungle picks. Interesting that jungle has been left this late, but this is actually something that Saudi Arabia did yesterday as well. And that was when they, I believe, they 5th picked the Nidalee. Either they 4th or 5th picked the Nidalee.
Yeah, it snuck in really late.
It was the Nidalee and the Pantheon that got picked pretty much 4 and 5, and that sort of threw things for a bit of a loop, and so maybe they're cooking something up in the lab again.
Well, you can see Silas has been locked in by Team Oman in the meanwhile, so that's going to try to move away from the idea from Team Saudi Arabia to go too heavy into some big ultimates. We'll see which angle they go for. Fire, okay. Not too terrible. It's certainly a strong pick in the meta right now, and I don't think we've seen Ajwad play it, but I'm excited to see him play it because he has a largely strong mechanical field. Everything we've seen from him in terms of the champs so far has been extremely strong. He knows what he's doing, and Fire is extremely easy to execute for the most part. So we should see him have a decent game. Might be able to carry as well. Big AP damage in mid coming through with the Talia. And what are we going to see from Jank? That's a pretty big ult that Easy, well, rather Omani might be able to steal. Looking at Unicorn as well, so he could get tanky. What else would you do here? Where are Oman going to go for the counter pick which has been saved for the jungle.
Well, I mean, I think first protocolers, you always want to be taking that Vi ulti, right? That's just a free engage for Silas, and he's someone that loves to be in close range, close proximity. Nocturne going to get picked up here as well for Oman.
WK Master, keen to see what he can do after those lights go out. And look, even when the lights go out, I feel like that can synergize pretty well with your Twitch. They can synergize pretty well with S Plus just dropping his ult in, and then if Omani, steals the right ultimate, then they can just shut people down real quick. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it looks like the name of the game right here for Oman is just to turn those 1v1s and those 2v2s into more favorable scenarios for themselves, right? You've got the Nocturne ultimate. Twitch is one of those champions that can kind of pop up out of nowhere if you, take your attention away from them for a second or two. He'll be into the mid lane, causing a bit of a ruckus. So I think Oman here kind of won a bit of a messier game, which Team Saudi Arabia probably not going to be too disappointed by. They have been brought down to their opponent's level in a couple of these games so far, and we've seen some shenanigans, we've seen some messiness from them, but always, Mac, they have been able to get through those games pretty comfortably. Looking at the draft, I'm just a bit more of a fan of Saudi Arabia. I think it does lean a little bit harder towards the meta. You've got some really strong picks over there. You've got some really good late game scaling. Kind of feels like you've got it all. Ajwad, as you said, we haven't really seen too much of him on the Vi so far in the Road to Asia games, but this will be the perfect game for him, right? You do like to take those early skirmishes on the Vi. You've got the Talia as well, who, definitely able to drop a bunch of damage down pretty quickly early on in the game as well. So definitely a fairly fearsome, I should say, mid lane jungle matchup here for Oman. The Nocturne going to want to take a little bit more time to get into the game and be a threat that way. And maybe the same for Silas, get that first item on the board. That's where he really finds that big power spike when he gets the Everfrost and can lock you down for such a long time. We'll see how the early game goes. Of course, Vi, you can jump on in for a level 2 gank if you really want to. You can get right into the fun, into the action nice and early. And that is what we have seen in almost every single one of these games in the West Asia group so far. They've been insane in terms of the way that they want to play around the macro. It's just all been team fights. Anyone that goes for objectives usually ends up losing, other than the Baron. Baron, of course, has had some pretty good value. WK Master just dominating the pixel bush, but it looks like I'm not going to see too much go on. Ajwad showing himself over towards that top side. So should be top the bot for him. We are going to see WK Master recall after dropping a ward there in the pixel bush, making his way back to top after picking up the sweeper.
Minions have spawned.
They are posturing to try and go into Omani here. When he can't, forces him back just barely, chunks him out with some free damage.
It's always nice to get that little bit of free damage when you're playing the range versus melee matchup in mid, just to keep that priority leaning in your direction. This, though, is not so much of a favorable trade, and Onikan,
not anymore.
Okay, he's really playing a dangerous game here. Omani 1v9 does not have the Ignite, so there's not really kill potential there, but that's not really a favorable trade, all things considered.
Yeah, as soon as that first wave gets there, they're both on half, and now very gankable indeed. It's going to be a little bit of fun early on. Mimic will get out of dodge, still has that Ignite on him.
Oh, Lulu damage though.
Yeah, making it happen. It looks like Flash going to be invested. Easy should survive, but I don't know about Janky. He's trying to hold onto that Flash, but he might have to use it. Will have the ability just to get away. But now, what are they going to be able to do in lane, Jordan?
That is a lesson as to how not to trade at level 1, especially against a Lulu who, if she is allowed to auto for free, you think about her passive, you see those little extra bolts coming through, that damage can really start to ramp up. And even though the focus was in onto Mimic, Michelle in that engagement just gets to free auto, and at level 1, that's a significant amount of damage coming through.
Ajwad going to skip a couple of camps here, go straight to red for a 3 camp, and looking like he might put some focus onto mid. Of course, bottom had to back, but mid here still quite low for Oman. And you can see as well that WK Master in the meanwhile, he's gone for the full clear. So if Ajwad is okay. You can see that he was hungry, probably for that bot lane gank, but safely, Team Oman decided just to back early, get those resources back. And
they took a 0 CS base.
Yep.
The bot lane took a 0 CS base.
They realized what they had to do.
I mean, just how bad does that feel, though? Like, you lose all of that CS under the tower, you lose the XP.
It's a hard lesson.
And Michelle able to go back to base. Yeah, it's not like the best base in the whole world, but you've picked up the longsword. You have that advantage now in the lane. Unreasonable stuff already.
Yep.
At the start of the day.
All early rotation. Michelle going to be meeting up with Ajwad here, and it looks like they are going to try to target mid or at least go for the invade. At least find something, but it's Wufo up top, just winning that one easily against S+.
Not the first time we've seen it from Wufo. Level 2, 3, 4. He's been getting into those early fights, and generally speaking, he's been winning them. Talked about the top gap that's been building for Saudi Arabia.
Ooh. Well played so far. We'll get feared away when he can't. Trying to come over and show himself. WK Master doesn't go straight to lane. That allows Ajwad the opportunity to go in for that Q. Will flash Q and force a flash out of WK Master. But in the meanwhile, Omani just trying to play a dangerous game. Bot lane from Team Oman, only level 3, only level 2, are going to rotate up to try to help them, but Team Saudi Arabia will escape away. And in the meanwhile, it's just Mimic with a frozen wave under the tower, farming up a storm. Level 4 has that advantage and might be able to find some more now. 7 CS lead, even though he's been there for a while. And over towards mid, looks like WK Master going to be jumping straight on the Onikan. Ajwad not too far away. Is he going to be able to save his mid laner?
Yes,
WK
sir.
Master is very low now, will fall down. Onikan, one last right click, straight onto the mid laner. You love that.
And that's the blue buff for Onikan as well. So now all of those mana issues are solved in the mid lane, though we do have a roam coming through from S+. Onikan in trouble.
Okay, Omani going to be able to jump on and at least get this trade back. S+ as well, trying to just dish some extra damage onto Ajwad. Push him back down in that mid lane. And it looks like the trade ends up favouring Oman, at least towards the mid lane. Over towards bot now. Team Saudi Arabia could be in trouble. But damage coming out. Nice root under the tower, but Jank was very lucky to be outside of the radius.
Yeah, I really thought he was done there for a second. Michelle and Mimic are committing an absolute sin by saying they don't have heal. They do in a moment, so maybe that's kind of what they're banking on. They're expecting maybe some over-aggression, the bait.
We're getting a little bit of that from Wufo, who's thinking about going for this one, but he's found it too straight up in his wheels. He does have that ult online to use, and should be able to use that to escape. However, he's going to fall! Wufo wins that, base tanks the 1v2, and is able to get a kill and escape. That's illegal.
That is just maximum disrespect, isn't it? He's taken S+ over the wall. He said, "You're coming with me, mate. It's not so much that I'm stuck in here with you, you're definitely stuck in here with me."
Yeah.
And he's turned it around on its head. Grass the Undying stack's probably coming in real clutch there with that extra little bit of healing that he's getting, keeping him alive.
Rune gap. There was a conqueror up for that Maud, but in the meanwhile, this is what happened at bot during that engagement over Root's top. And again, Jordan, the action is happening. Looks too easy, doesn't it?
Does indeed. And no heal invested there by Michelle either. So something to consider, still being on the cards right here for Saudi Arabia. Looks like a pretty clean game from them so far. I mean, Onikan goes down in mid, but you're not necessarily expecting S+ to come walking all the way down from top, so I'm willing to forgive him for that one. Not sure what WK Master is doing right here in his opponent's jungle when he's so far behind. This is going to cost him his life. No flash, you're a Nocturne at level 4, you're just not getting out of there at all.
Not at all. Easy picks coming through. Love the small amount of CC that Talia can bring, but that knockback can just be so potent if placed perfectly. And Onikan has been exceptional in this mid lane for the West Asian region. Mick though, what's he going to be able to do here? Michelle, try to regroup with him. Get a lot of solo XP, ping 6, and now they might be looking to fight straight away. There is Ajwad rotating down as well. The timings from Team Saudi Arabia look insane. Sweeper as well, he's not been spotted, and Easy just going to go and face tank the bush, mate. You are done, surely. There's no ult for the Vi to play with, and the Q is already used, so no chase will come through. Easy has that flash to get to safety, but now what? You've got to leave lane again.
Should be a free dragon for Saudi Arabia. Force your bot laners back away. Get that prio in the bot lane. Already looking strong in mid and jungle.
Yeah.
Just take the dragon. Sounds good. Michelle's just going to float around in case there was any thoughts of a contest.
Yeah, Jank. Of course, by mobility. But we're speaking of mobility, and Omani going to be coming in towards that top lane. How's this 1v2 go for Wufo this time? Pops the ult and will flash to safety. Not too phased by that one. The roam ends up being ineffective, but at least it's baited out the util.
Yeah, just a little bit too cool, calm, and collected, isn't he, right now, Wufo? Looks like he's getting himself into some sticky situations, but constantly getting back out to safety. Dive on off a 4 bot. 2 on 4.
Can they fend this off? Turret going to be that third man, but there's a lot of damage coming through from Team Saudi Arabia, and you're going to see them just completely melt here. Arjwad locks them down, locks them in, and Mimic as well with that heal is going to be able to hang around. Red, white, that's going to be a turret melting in seconds. Plenty of plates on the menu, but in the meanwhile, it's going to be answered. Omani.
Oh, no.
Going to try to gank here at top, but it's not gone well. Oh, my.
This is a
WK
2v1.
taken way too much. And Omani didn't commit with the rest of the team, so he's not gone through. He's not brought the extra damage, and Wufo just wins the 1v2. Omani wants to come through for the cleanup. He knows that there's no flash. He knows that there's no ult for Wufo to play with. But either way, he's got the level advantage. Omani going to be able to ping that one. And, oh, the turret, the damage is quite... It's not quite enough for the 1v3. But you saw it happening, Wufo.
I really did. I really thought there was an angle, definitely. Every time I've thought, okay, Wufo's dead here, he's managed to get himself a kill. It's just a series of unfortunate events, really, for Oman.
It would have been a 1-for-1. It would have, if Omani just went in, but he decided to walk the other way.
Maybe.
Just, the communication is just not quite there, or maybe the chemistry for Team Oman. Indecision.
Yeah, this was a really nicely executed dive. Michelle taking some of the early aggro, gets low, drops the aggro, gets the heal through perfectly on time for Mimic. And what I really liked was Arjwad ensuring that his Q hit the target that it needed to hit rather than, you know, just sending it and kind of spreading that damage across. It was real good focus from Saudi Arabia.
The contrast between that and then the attempt at the dive at the top was just
absolutely
completely crazy.
These teams are really existing in two different worlds, two different planes. And it's quite evident that one is a little bit better than the other.
Certainly tells a story.
TP's coming through right here from S+ to try to keep that tower as safe as possible, but Wufo really doesn't care about the tower. He's more than happy to just go kill.
S+, he's got that ult to play with if he wants to, but try to use it. It's not worked too well at all.
Okay, that's a real big feels bad, Mac. Like you've
TP'd in.
TP'd in.
Yep.
The
Just
tower's under the wave's under your tower. You've TP'd in. You've literally instantly died. And now you're losing all the CS again.
Yeah.
Wufo hasn't even based. He does not care.
We have seen Wufo be a Giga Chad in some other games, and he is going to do it yet
What's
again.
WK Master doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know what anyone's
doing.
doing.
He's dropping the Herald.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe he had like minimal time, just sort of had to drop it in the best place possible. Either way, it's going to be that wall across. And again, Team Oman are just getting torn to shreds.
Another TP to death,
Omani's here to try to save the day, and I just don't expect him to get out of this one. He's got that Vi-ult to play around. There it is. Wow, that did nothing. And we do see Team Saudi Arabia just continue to force the point through bot.
Yeah, pretty poor teleport usage in the last couple of minutes here from Oman. Twice now they've TP'd into their own death just to give another kill over to Saudi Arabia. This is not even a contest. This is not even close. Replay of that one as the tower goes down. You saw Arjwad on the Vi, charging that Q up. Gets it across the line. And can only imagine that this would be a 15-minute surrender if we were playing in a ranked game.
Yeah. It do be like that, and straight away, more damage coming through. 15-2 on the scoreboard. And you're looking at that gold lead. We are 11, almost 12 minutes in. The plates are still on the turrets, and it's almost a 10k gold gap. It's about to be a 10k gold gap if Wufo gets another here. Bot T2 about to fall as well. This is going to be a very fast game of League of Legends. Maybe the fastest game in the group so far.
Yeah, probably. There's been actually a lot of longer games in this group. This is such a dive angle as well, by the way, for Wufo. He's level 10 to Plus is level 8, so just trying to poke him down a little bit before he fully commits to it, and dancing around with those shields, barely even taking any damage from the tower right now.
Crazy.
So I don't even know what you do as S+ in this situation, aside from go back to your base and cry.
Look, Wufo's got over a whole item on top of him as well. Attempt at the gank over towards mid-side.
No
Maybe
damage.
There's a world, but as you mentioned, no damage coming through. Omani just trying to survive now. WK Master not going to be able to. It's just going to be the kill across the wall, and Arjwar just going to farm up a Storm Jank. Not going to get away from that damage, and mid T1 should be on the smorgasbord right now. But it's the great escape, it's the great chase, and Ajwad, he is hunting for Omani. Wufo going deep, just proxy farming, and there it is.
Has to do it
to close the fight.
Yeah. It's child's play at the moment, Mac. Saudi Arabia are playing with their food, and we're just waiting to sort of get to that point where they can actually feel confident about finishing the game off, right? I mean, they definitely win all of the fights, but they're not really committing so much to finishing the game right here.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they're going to kind of hit that critical mass position and just decide, yeah, let's get this one over and done with. But 13 minutes still does make it quite tough because the respawn timers are so short.
WK Master in a whole world of trouble. It's just going to be standing on that ward. Here comes the wall. And it's great to see how Team Saudi Arabia have been playing in this series today. It's completely different to what we saw before. In some of the earlier games from this group, they weren't grouping. You know, they were going for like 1-2-1-1s. They were never really trying to fight as a unit. But now you see how they operate, and they are going together, finding 4v1s, 4v2s, constant advantages everywhere, and it feels like Team Omani is just never able to answer with any objectives or any farm at all.
Rufo, TP back up into the top lane. He's going to send S+ running, but you can't outrun this one, mate.
You got the Ghost, mate. This is going to be very difficult to live for S+. He's hoping that Omani can maybe keep him alive.
I don't know if
he's run away from his teammate. In comes the lights out, and just like that, maybe Wufo will fall. He's dropped that ult. It's a 1v4. Can he get a kill here? That's what I'm looking at. Wufo, where's the damage? Where's the sustain? Finally, the shutdown comes through, and Team Omani find an answer.
Yeah, Wufo, I mean, look, even in that 1v4, he looked pretty threatening.
Yeah,
so
I was waiting for the turnaround.
Just kind of goes to show you the strength that he has at the moment, and now it is time for some revenge.
Yep, just clicking across there. S+. Yeah, sacrificial lamb for sure. Just trying to bait Team Saudi Arabia away.
They're pinging at one another.
Yeah.
At this point, Onikan's not happy that that kill has been stolen away.
It's a little bit of fun, of course, between them.
No, I mean, you want the Audi Super MVP, mate.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're fighting for it. Is going to be the jump across, ult straight on the Easy E. He's not going to last too long. Jank going golden to try to buy some time. WK Master going to be able to clear that one away. And Hudward will finally find his first death. Mishwal and Mimic in the meanwhile were just attacking the turret, didn't help out their teammate, and that might be why he's fallen.
Mimic rather tried. He missed the Moonlight Vigil. And so I think that resulted in a few laughs in the Saudi Arabia camp. Now TP coming through here for S+.
Plus the flank angle. Man is 0 and 6, looking to make it 0 and 7.
Is it an angle?
But can he find any angle? That's the question. Mimic going to be able to take out that damage in the meanwhile, so no CC from WK Master coming across S+. Probably not going to be able to get back to the tower alive. He's just going to get farmed up, waiting, shielding, hoping that there was an angle, but Omani a little bit late to the party.
Yeah, they don't even use Wild Growth, they don't use Heal. This is just too easy for Saudi Arabia at the moment. I feel like I'm a bit of a broken record. You might as well make that 100%. We don't need to have a 10% there for Oman. There's just no way back into this game, Mac. You would literally need to see Saudi Arabia AFK.
What do we got? 15k goal gap.
Yeah.
At 16 minutes. That's a K minute.
This is the highest gold lead we've seen in the event so far. At this point in time.
At this point in time.
Like,
there you go. Just look at the damage. Mimic. Got the blue and red. Not the most optimal weapons, but it doesn't matter. It just straight up does not matter. Look at how much damage he's pumping out. Just crits galore. Standing, pumping. 5-0 and 7 for him. Good to see Mishal with a decent amount of KP. No one's actually got crazy KP because there's been skirmishes all across the map. Wufo again going to be trying to go into the 1v3. Will have a helping hand if Ajwad comes to help him, but he's too focused over there. Easy E going to be able to pick up Wufo.
Yeah, Ajwad just give the tower a couple of love taps on the way out. Farming up from CS. And that might be to his detriment.
Yeah, 2v1. Looks like we are going to see Talia make their way across the wall in the way, so Oman cannot continue that fight, and it's bought more than enough time for the rest of the troops to make their way down mid. Lanes here, push about to come through. You can see Team Oman, they've got no resources there as well, so they're trying to get that mana back. Omani should be able to get back here, but I don't know if he's going to arrive in time. Inhib about to fall as well. There's just so much fewer damage as well as that Herald.
Wow.
So they're just looking for the fight. Deletion, Jank, straight to the grave, straight to the respawn timer for him, and in comes the TP. They're looking for a dancing Shelly. They're looking to make it happen here and now, and focusing everything, every turret, every tower, every single player in the game I feel like this one is going to be the fastest of the group so far. 18 minutes on the clock, and Team Saudi Arabia just looking to have some kind of fun. Of course, they're just waiting for that next minion wave to come through. Omani just looking to dodge as much, get his mechanics tested in the fountain. And this is a very rough game if you are a Team Oman fan.
Yeah, most definitely. The game ends at 18 and a half minutes. And Saudi Arabia, a